Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Again, this is going to be a Rugby World Cup pool preview, and today we're going to be previewing Pool C. Alright, welcome back. So Pool C, we've got England, France, Argentina, USA and Tonga. So it's actually a competitive group. Probably the most competitive group, I think, of the four. We're going to go through each team, their history in the World Cup, their results from probably the last, say, 2 years, and then we're going to have a look at how far I think the teams are going to go in the tournament. So let's start off with England. They're obviously one-time winners back in 2003. They've actually come runners-up twice. They come fourth once and 3 quarter-final appearances. France have come runners-up 3 times. They're perennial bridesmaids. They come third once, fourth twice, and reached the quarter-finals twice. Argentina have come third, fourth, and reached the quarterfinals twice. USA and Tonga never gotten out of the group. So let's start with England, and then go through France, Argentina, USA, and Tonga. So England, very good 2019, apart from that capitulation against Scotland in the Six Nations. That's ridiculous. Only one loss this year. That's a 13-6 warm-up game lost to Wales. 2018 is okay. They lost by a point to New Zealand. 2 away losses to South Africa, which is disappointing. Also 1, and they lost to Ireland and Scotland in that Six Nations 2018. So they are building a bit like South Africa. They're getting there slowly but surely, and hopefully this is the time they're going to peak. Moving on to France. So France, very hit and miss 2019. I remember back in 2017, I said that France were going to be my dark horses for this World Cup. Judging by their 2019 and 2018 form, they haven't really progressed as much as I was hoping. They've chopped and changed a bit with their lineup. Hopefully they've got a bit more of a settled one now. So 2019, a bit hit and miss. They lost to England, Wales, Ireland and Scotland. They weren't really convincing at all in 2019, 2018. Not much better really. They beat England, they beat Argentina. They lost 3 times away to New Zealand. So I guess you can't really look too much into that really, but the fact that they lost in that year to Fiji was a big highlight of 2018, I feel. Would have given Fiji a bit of a boost, but to France, haven't kicked on as much as I hoped they were going to, really. Next, Argentina. The Jaguars had a good season this season. So far, 2019, the national team have had a pretty poor year. They've lost all their championship games. In 2018, they struggled in their autumn tour. They really didn't have a very good time. And again, unsuccessful in the Rugby Championship, except they did win against Australia. I think it was in the Gold Coast. So that's one highlight that come out of the last 2 years. They seem to be going backwards. I was kind of hoping that the inclusion into Rugby Championship and the inclusion of the Jaguars into Super Rugby was going to really propel Argentinian rugby, and it hasn't done that. I saw actually today, I was doing a little bit of research today, and they're ranked 11th in the world, which I did not see happening at all. I thought they'd be a top 4, top 3 contender continuously year on year, but 11th at the moment, it does, I believe, truly reflect where they are at the moment as a team, and it's not looking good. Let's move on to the USA. 2019, pretty good year. They actually beat Samoa this year, so yeah, going well. And I mentioned in my Pool B video that everyone at that kind of tier 2 level seems to be losing to the USA. So actually they're probably doing a lot better than I gave them credit for. 2018, again, good year. They beat Samoa again 2018, and they beat Romania. So again, some good wins. They're also producing some very, very good performances on the 7th circuit. So USA Rugby at the moment seems to be in a pretty strong place. And again, I mentioned this with Canada in my last video. I think they've picked up, particularly their 7s anyway. I'm not too sure about their 15s, but in their 7s they picked up a lot of college athletes, didn't make that next step into, say, the NBA or NFL. And they picked up a lot of very, very naturally gifted athletes in just rugby. So I think it's easier to do in 7s, I believe, than 15s. 7s is a less technical game than 15s, but there's still a lot to learn, don't get me wrong. Last but not least, in this group of death, as people call it, Tonga. What to say about Tonga? 2019 has been a very, very, very poor year. There's not really too much else to say. They've been smacked by pretty much everyone this year except for Canada. Japan beat them pretty easily. New Zealand put 90 points on them in their last warm-up game before this World Cup. It's really not looking good. They had a slightly better 2018. They beat Fiji and Samoa, lost twice to Georgia. So a bit of a slightly better year than 2019 for sure, but still not great. So I can't exactly say that they're building to something. I don't really know. Obviously, they're going to bring some physicality to the pool. I believe that England, France, and Argentina in particular are going to be a little bit wary, not necessarily of the skill set of the Tongans, but just the physicality. They're not going to want to pick up too many injuries in that game to hamper them in the I'd say more important, in the kind of more high profile games, perhaps against the other top sort of three teams in that group, because a very competitive group, top three. Even if Argentina are not necessarily at the moment in the best form, they could still cause some problems for England and France. Let's have a look about how I think the country is going to go in the World Cup as a whole. England, I believe, will go pretty deep into the tournament. They should certainly get to the semi-finals. The one big concern I've got with this England team under Eddie Jones is that they do capitulate. It's happened more than once, and it really did. It was really highlighted in that draw to Scotland where England got out of jail on that one. They were up by a long way at half-time. I remember watching the game, actually, thinking this is going to be 70 points at half-time, and suddenly Scotland blew England away in that second half, and I was panicking. I was really panicking, and that's not the only time it's happened, and I fear that if England have a must-win game in this pool, say against France or Argentina, it could well happen again. I think if France or Argentina get a step up in the second half of the game where they might be down slightly, it could happen all over again. So yeah, that I am concerned about. But I believe, just based on recent form, that they should win this group and get to the quarterfinals, and hopefully should end up in the semis. Move on to France. They'll be fighting for Argentina for second place. This is going to be a close second place battle, and it could well come down to that result between France and Argentina as to who comes second and progresses. If England, France and Argentina all end up beating each other, which could well happen, it will then come down to points difference against USA and Tonga. So whoever can score the most points against those other two teams. If France are going to progress, they need to be a lot more consistent than they have been. So at the moment, they're up and down, hit and miss. They win one game that they should win, losing next to Fiji. So they really do need to hit that consistent level to be able to progress in this tournament. Argentina, disappointing in the last 2 years, as I've said before. The Jaguars have done pretty well in the last year. I think they reached the final of Super Rugby, but the national team just haven't done it. And I think it's down to the fact that step up from Super Rugby and International Rugby is getting quite big, particularly as the New Zealand franchises are very, very strong and the Aussie franchises not so much. So they can probably cruise through a little bit of their group stages or the conferences and the Super Rugby and hit the finals and feel pretty good. But then that step up from Super Rugby to International Rugby is just a little bit too high at the moment. As I said before, they're going to need to have a result against England or France to have any chance of progressing in this tournament. Can I see them going deep in the quarterfinals? Probably not, depending on who they potentially could face in the semis. Okay, so let's now have a little chat about the USA. So the USA are going to fancy themselves to beat Tonga. They will target this game as their major victory in the pool. I think they're going to struggle against England, France and Argentina. They could also target Argentina, to be fair, for a win. See how Argentina start in this tournament. I'm not sure how they're going to go, but USA certainly target this Tongan game to have a real big victory. And if they win that, I think they'll feel pretty happy about their tournament overall. Again, I don't see them coming out of the group, but they will target that Tongan game for that win. Okay, Tonga. Recent results have shown they are going to struggle in this tournament. They're not going to be able to compete with England, they're not going to be able to compete with France, and they won't compete with Argentina. They're going to again target this USA game for that win. Do they have the quality to beat the USA? I don't think they do. I really don't. Again, I said before, they're going to provide that physical challenge, but I don't see them providing much else, to be honest, which is a shame because I really like watching the Pacific Island teams play, and I hate to see them in this position. It really doesn't fill me with any happiness at all to say that England are going to smash Tonga. But unfortunately, I think that they will. I wish Tonga were in a stronger position right now, but unfortunately they're not, and that's just the way that it goes. Anyway, guys, that is Pool C all wrapped up. Let me know what your thoughts are. Give me some comments. Who you think is going to win? England, France, Argentina. Let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one.